Precious walked up to him, her gaze firm, and without emotion, said, "Joshua, I can't continue this relationship anymore. You're not in my class anymore. I can't marry you. I can't marry an illiterate. How will we even communicate with our children? I will speak English to them, and you'll be speaking Yoruba or Pidgin English. When I say, 'Junior, bring that cooler,' you'll just be looking at me, confused. It just can't work. I have to go, Joshua." Joshua stood frozen, unable to comprehend what he was hearing. The woman he had loved, the one he had sacrificed everything for, was standing in front of him, cold and unrecognizable. The pain in his chest was unbearable, but he couldn't even argue with her, he couldn't force her to stay if she no longer wanted to be with him. Without another word, Precious turned and walked out of his life, leaving Joshua standing there, shattered, struggling to understand what had gone wrong. The next day, Joshua sat alone in his room, his head heavy with thoughts and tears streaming down his face. He replayed Precious's words over and over in his mind. "I can't marry you. You're not my class anymore." The pain was unbearable. Did I make a mistake by sending the woman I love to school? Joshua asked himself aloud. What did I do wrong? I gave her everything, my time, my love, my savings, all because I wanted us to be happy. Is this how she's repaying me? For 3 days, Joshua couldn't bring himself to go to his shop. He felt weak, broken, and betrayed. But on the 4th day, he decided to confide in someone he trusted, Precious's mother. Early that morning, he went to her house. "Good morning, Ma," he greeted respectfully. "Good morning, my in-law," Precious's mother replied with a warm smile. "How are you doing, my son?" Joshua sighed deeply and replied, "I'm not fine, Ma." Her smile quickly faded. "What happened, my son? Is everything alright?" "Ma, Precious wants to kill me, oh," Joshua exclaimed, his voice trembling with emotion. "Kill you? What do you mean?" "What happened to Precious?" she asked, concern written all over her face. Joshua took a deep breath and narrated everything, how he had sent Precious to school, how she stopped answering his calls, how she came to his shop wearing a mini dress, and how she told him she couldn't marry him anymore because he wasn't educated. Precious's mother was shocked. "Are you sure about this, Joshua? Because she hasn't visited me in a while. How could she come to your shop and not stop by to see me?" "I'm telling you the truth, Ma," Joshua said, his voice heavy with sadness. "She came and said those things to my face." Precious's mother shook her head in disbelief. "All right, my son, don't worry. I'll call her and talk to her. I'll find out what's going on. But please, don't let this weigh you down. Your efforts will not be wasted. God sees everything." "Amen," Joshua replied, his voice low but filled with a glimmer of hope. He thanked her and left, feeling slightly relieved that someone else was now aware of the situation. Precious continued her new life in school with her new boyfriend, Kevin. Kevin, a wealthy and flashy young man, was everything Precious thought she wanted. He would take her to expensive restaurants and fast food joints, spoil her with gifts, and buy her trendy outfits. Kevin even bought her an iPhone, which she flaunted proudly among her friends. They laughed together, went to clubs, and lived a carefree lifestyle. As Precious enjoyed her new life, she completely forgot about Joshua, the man who had been her foundation, her support, and her reason for being in school in the first place. One day, Precious's mother called her. After exchanging greetings, her mother asked, "Precious, hope you've been hearing from Joshua, your husband-to-be." Precious rolled her eyes and sighed. "Is that why you called me, Mom?" "Mommy, I'll explain everything when I come home. This is not a phone conversation." Her mother, sensing something was wrong, pressed further. "What happened, Precious? Why not tell me now?" "Don't worry, Mommy. When I come home, I'll explain everything, Precious replied curtly. 2 weeks later, Precious visited her mother. The moment her mother saw her, she was stunned. Precious was wearing a mini dress so short that her thighs were completely exposed, and her neckline plunged so low that it barely covered her chest. Her makeup was heavy, and her entire appearance screamed a lifestyle that her mother had never imagined for her. "Precious," her mother exclaimed in shock. "What happened to you? When did you start dressing like this? Look at the way you've exposed your body. This is not the daughter I raised." "Oh, Mommy, relax," Precious replied casually, brushing her mother's concerns aside. "This is what's in vogue now. Everyone dresses like this. Forget about it." "Precious, before you talk about food, tell me what's going on with you and Joshua," her mother said, her voice stern. "What happened? You don't pick his calls anymore, and he told me you even went to his shop and told him he's not your class. What's going on? This is the man who has suffered for us, especially for you. He has spent everything just to make you happy. Why are you doing this?" Precious sighed, visibly irritated. "Mommy, do you expect me, an educated woman, to marry an illiterate? Joshua can't even read or write. We are not compatible. I can't risk my future with him. He's just not my type." Her mother looked at her with disappointment. "Precious, my daughter, I understand what you're saying, but have you forgotten everything Joshua has done for us? He's the one who sponsored your education. He gave you the idea of going back to school after your father's death when there was no hope. He rented this house for us, Precious. Have you forgotten all of this?" Precious crossed her arms and looked away. "Mommy, forget all these stories you're telling me. That's the past. I've moved on with my life now. I'm dating someone else, an awesome guy who's my type. Very soon, I'll bring him home to meet you." Her mother sat back, defeated and heartbroken. The daughter she had known, humble, respectful, and grateful, was gone. After trying her best to speak sense into her daughter, Precious's mother had no choice but to inform Joshua of the situation. She called him one evening. "My son, my in-law," she began with a shaky voice. "I spoke to Precious, but she didn't listen. I am so sorry for everything she's done. Thank you for all you've done for this family. Please, my son, find it in your heart to forgive her." Joshua replied calmly, "No problem, Mama. I've already moved on with my life. Thank you for letting me know." And truly, Joshua had moved on. A year later, he met another woman, a beautiful and kind-hearted doctor named Sarah, who loved him for who he was. She admired his hard work and dedication, and she didn't care about his level of education. Sarah saw the man Joshua truly was, a man with integrity, humility, and love in his heart. Their relationship blossomed, and before long, they were happily married. Joshua and Sarah laughed together, supported each other, and built a home filled with love and understanding. Meanwhile, Precious's life was spiraling out of control. She got pregnant by Kevin, but by then, Kevin had graduated and left the school. Precious tried to reach him, but his number was no longer available. She became desperate, crying day and night. "What will I tell my mother?" she wailed. "How can I give birth to a child without a father?" Her friends, who had led her into her reckless lifestyle, encouraged her to abort the pregnancy. At first, she hesitated, but their constant advice finally wore her down. Precious agreed and went to an unqualified person to terminate the pregnancy. 1 month after the abortion, Precious began experiencing severe stomach pains. The pain grew so intense that she cried bitterly, clutching her stomach as though she were about to die. Her friends, terrified, decided to take her home to her mother. When they arrived, Precious's mother was alarmed. "What happened to my daughter?" she demanded. "We don't know," "Ma," one of the friends stammered. "She's just shouting about her stomach." Precious's mother wasted no time. She took her to the nearest hospital. Unknown to them, the hospital was owned by Joshua's new wife, Dr. Sarah. After running several tests, Sarah called Precious's mother into her office. Her expression was serious, and her tone was gentle but firm. "Ma, I need to ask you something. Why did you allow your daughter to terminate her pregnancy?" "Pregnancy? Terminate?" Precious's mother was confused. "I don't understand what you're saying, doctor." Dr. Sarah sighed and explained, "Your daughter was pregnant, but she had an abortion. Unfortunately, the person who performed it damaged her womb. The complications are severe." Precious's mother was stunned. "Damaged? Doctor, what are you saying?" "I'm saying that your daughter will recover, but she'll never be able to have children again. Her womb was completely removed during the procedure," Sarah said gently. Precious's mother broke down in tears. "I warned her. I warned her," she cried. She rushed to the ward where Precious was lying down, weak and pale. "You see your life now, Precious," she said, her voice trembling with anger and sorrow. "The doctor said you don't have a womb anymore. You will never give birth again. Now, you didn't finish school, and you can't have children. What do you have left, Precious?" Precious began to sob uncontrollably. "Mommy, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I didn't listen to you. I thought I knew better, but I've destroyed my life." Her mother shook her head, her heart heavy with grief. "I warned you, Precious. But you refused to listen. Now, you must live with the consequences of your choices." 2 weeks after Precious was admitted to the hospital, the bills began piling up. Unable to pay the remaining balance for her discharge, Precious and her mother decided to visit the doctor's office to plead for more time. As they stepped into the office, Precious froze. Sitting across from Dr. Sarah was none other than Joshua. He was dressed in a sharp suit, looking healthier, happier, and more confident than she had ever seen him. He exuded an aura of success that made Precious's heart sink. The moment their eyes met, Precious lowered her gaze, unable to look at him. Joshua turned to Dr. Sarah and asked, "What are they doing here?" Dr. Sarah, slightly taken aback, replied, "This is the woman I told you about last week, the one who can't give birth anymore." Joshua's face softened with realization. He turned to Dr. Sarah and said, "My dear, this is the same woman I told you about, the one I loved, the one I sacrificed for and sent to school. She left me, saying she couldn't marry an illiterate." Dr. Sarah's eyes widened. "Really?" she asked, looking from Precious to Joshua. "Yes," Joshua replied. He then looked at Precious and her mother. "Mama, Precious, what happened? Why are you here?" Precious's mother, overwhelmed with shame, tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. Precious couldn't stop the tears streaming down her face. She fell to her knees, trembling with regret. "Joshua, I'm so sorry. I know I hurt you. I was blind and foolish. Please forgive me." Her mother joined her, kneeling as well. "My son," she said with a shaky voice, "thank you for everything you've done for us. I warned her, but she didn't listen. Please forgive her." Joshua took a deep breath and looked at them with compassion. "Mama, Precious, I forgave you long ago. I have moved on with my life, and I'm happy now." He gestured toward Dr. Sarah. "This is my wife, Dr. Sarah. By God's grace, she owns this hospital, and we are happily married." Precious looked up at Dr. Sarah, her heart heavy with shame and regret. Sarah's warm smile was tinged with pity as she looked back at Precious, who had once rejected Joshua. Joshua then turned to Dr. Sarah. "My dear, please cancel the remaining hospital bill. Let them go home in peace." Dr. Sarah nodded, touched by her husband's kindness. Of course, my love. Precious and her mother began to cry harder. Thank you, Joshua, Precious's mother said. May God bless you and your wife abundantly. Joshua nodded silently and walked out of the office with Dr. Sarah, leaving Precious and her mother behind. Back at home, Precious couldn't stop crying. The reality of her mistakes weighed heavily on her soul. I had everything, she sobbed to her mother. A man who loved me, supported me, and sacrificed for me. And I threw it all away for nothing. Her mother, though heartbroken for her daughter, could only watch silently. You made your choices, Precious. And now you must live with them. But I pray you learn from this. Meanwhile, Joshua and Sarah continued their beautiful life together, filled with love, laughter, and mutual respect. Joshua's journey taught him that true love is built on character, not outward appearances. And Precious's story became a cautionary tale, a reminder that arrogance, ungratefulness, and bad choices can lead to regret, while humility and gratitude pave the way to happiness and fulfillment. What do you learn from this story? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you think and learn. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe for more amazing stories. See you in the next one.